Hi, this is Megan. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Woo as Fuck, episode number 4. So, this week we are doing a collective reading. It does get a little bit heavy, but it comes out pretty good in the end. So, essentially, we are talking about embracing play in your inner child, opening yourself up to the muse, really evaluating what it is that you want, and going a few levels deeper to make sure that you're really on the right path, evaluating those relationships that you're in, and giving yourself a little bit of grace if you worked really hard for something and then when you got there you realized that wasn't really where you wanted to be. So thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and let's get into it. Hi, it's Megan.
Hi guys, it's Lissa, and today we're going to do a collective reading for you because there is some shit going on.
Yeah, definitely. The energy has been up and down, and I'll go through feeling really like muddy and murky and gross, and then the next day feeling really high energy. And I know that a lot of other people have been feeling the same way.
Hugely all over the place, you guys, all over the place. One day will be literally like the best day ever, and then the very next one will be every trigger that exists to man.
Yeah. And then I've personally found myself falling into patterns where I'll get in like loops of, I'm not going to do the thing anymore, I do the thing anymore. And then I do it again over and over again for the last week or so. You know, I'm never going to work over. I'm never going to work all day. I'm not going to work all night. The very next day, I work all night.
Which sucks because then it's like even more reason to beat yourself up over it, even though
Yeah.
the exact opposite of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think that it's something that we're all falling into right now because we're clearing out a lot of stuff and we're moving forward in a lot of ways. And I think the only way for us to really move forward is to it's like we're in Groundhog's Day, and the only way that we can end the cycle is to find the magic key to move on to the next day.
Well, and it seems like every time we try and break those cycles, what I'm finding, oh my God, it's literally like leveling up in a video game. So every time.
Yeah, it gets harder. Sorry to cut you off, but it does.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, because to me, apparently now I'm very visual, which is funny. I never used to be, but it's like you break the cycle and you move up, but then there's these like tentacles trying so hard to suck you back into that thing you just got out of. And I think all it is in reality is just old neural pathways refiring because they're heavily wired, and we're trying to create new ones, but those new ones just aren't established yet. So we're going to have to just keep trying to do our best until, they're laid in better, I guess. I don't know.
But we'll get there all together.
So what do you got? What do you have on your end over there?
So when I was pulling cards before our reading, or before we started recording rather, they were kind of crass. I'm going to say this in a loving but firm way. Get the fuck out of your way. I'm sorry, guys, but it's true. So what's happening is what I'm seeing, rather, is that we all so desperately are wanting to move forward. We're wanting to do the thing, but we're falling in, I mean, as we just said, into patterns. And we're also letting, for some people, I got a few different cards specific to romance. Do you want to be with your partner? Do you want to spend your life with them? Are they the right person to be with right now in this moment? Are you mirrors for each other in the best possible way? Or have you learned your lessons and thanked each other for the time and the growth that you've had together, and it's time to move forward? Because I got several cards regarding romance and our relationships. I also really want to advise you to look at what it is that you think that you want right now, because I had a lot of cards regarding uncertainty and decisions and making the wrong decisions. And I want you to think about the thing that you currently want, that you think that you want, that your heart of heart really wants, go a level deeper. Do you think that you want a new job, or are you just wanting a new environment so you can start fresh? Are there other ways that you can incorporate that? Do you think that you want to move, or do you just need a change of scenery? Which I guess is the same thing, but professional versus personal. They're a little different. And then maybe stop running away from things is another one that I got. So the only way that we're going to move forward through a lot of this junk is to face these really hard things over and over and over again. And you are all doing a really good job, and you're doing your best, and the work is so hard. But whenever I got clarifiers on, how we can do this, how we can move forward, what's at the end, one of the big ones that I got was to address your sacral chakra. What are you holding there? What blockages do you have? What traumas are you holding there? And try to release them in whatever small way that you can. So that can be through meditation. A lot of people really enjoy like physical activity to release some of that trauma and to clear some of that out. Dancing can be really good for it with just music. Or song, or whatever it is that you feel called to do. Maybe you're drumming. And just try to picture yourself really like moving through it and letting go and thanking all of it for how it served you and telling it that you love it, but maybe taking that leap of faith and moving forward. And one of the resistances that I saw was that everyone is kind of afraid to move forward. So some of Lissa's cards also kind of confirm this, but essentially, when you do that next big thing, the thing that you know that you truly need to be doing and what's in alignment with yourself, sometimes it's scary because you might be alienating some people in your life. You might have to say no to some people that you really struggle to say no to. You have to say yes to yourself, which is really hard. And sometimes you have to cut some toxic people out, or people, maybe there aren't people who are truly toxic, but they're just not really people that you need to be sharing your energy with right now. And I feel like as I'm saying that, that's really true for one of you, that there's someone in your life that you love with all of your heart and they do bring you joy, but being with them is draining you right now. And maybe you don't have to say goodbye to them forever, but possibly take a breather in, whatever way possible that you can. But try to listen to your intuition and be true to yourself. And if you feel like you're making a big decision right now, instead of just kind of accepting what you think it is that you want, take that time to maybe go a few layers deeper and figure out what it is that you really want. And you might really be surprised that what you're truly wanting is a lot more simple than how you're making it out to be. We tend to, as human beings, especially people who are trying to work through a lot of things, we really tend to make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And we like to blow our lives up, and we like to make a big moment out of every event in our life. And sometimes it's okay to quietly step aside without blowing things up. I know that's scary.
What does that mean? Quietly step aside? That's not in my vocabulary.
Yeah, and that's so hard because especially like if we're using relationships, maybe we're used to that cycle of we have a big fight, we say some things that we can't take back, we have that heated moment, the one that we all secretly love, where we know that we're right and they're wrong, and we have that endorphin, going through us where we're high on life, high on the drama. And maybe it's okay to say, hey, I love you, and it's been wonderful, and we've grown a lot and experienced a lot of life together, but it's time to part ways and not have the big fight and do it calmly. And I know that sounds terrible. I can hear you all booing me.
Boo. Just kidding.
Yeah. I think that's it. I mean, and I'm sure there's other things that I intended to say, but that's how it all came out. So I love you all very much, but get out of your way, get out of your own way, and just reevaluate.
And so here's what's so interesting, you guys, because jumping in where Megan left off, my reading, first of all, confirmed everything that she's saying to a T, which was really interesting. And then, Megan, while you were talking, I pulled clarifiers on mine and it got woo as fuck, very literally.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Oh, it's so good. It's juicy.
That sounds juicy.
It's like it's like if Jerry Springer were like good shit and enlightened, you know, but like really interesting. So for anyone who's interested, I just got the Palladian Oracle deck by New Age Imaginations, and it is a magical, you guys. If you're a channel and you work, with star beings, there's something about this deck that's just, I can't even put it into words. So highly recommend. But okay, so my reading again confirmed what Megan said, which is that basically the universe right now, Spirit, is asking you to pay attention to your emotions because there's something that you're not seeing that's being highlighted. And it's like the higher self that is you is, this is going to be a whole story, just buckle up. The higher self that is you is wanting to take a look at this thing, which is essentially your emotional guidance system. So you have your emotional guidance system that's online. And then you have, I was also getting downloads as you were talking to Megan. And then we also have very similar, these neurological pathways that are hardwired that are based on dopamine hits. So that's sort of a grid system that we're all existing in, you guys. We all do exist in these old systems of patterns of behavior and repetition that create positive and negative experiences, perceived positive and negative experiences in our brain. So that's an important template to understand because it's one thing to just like break a pattern. It's another to know what that means, like the thing that you're actually doing. So you have this opportunity right now to shine a light on the unconscious patterning that is allowing you to have those dopamine hits. This is so specific. That is allowing you to have those dopamine hits for what you perceive as a positive experience that may no longer be a positive experience, but is being perceived that way. And then after that, I've got this whole story about somebody or people in general, who are working really hard to attain a dream of material success, but it's not actually what they want. And I'm like, okay, well then what is it that's wanted? If it's not this material thing, and if a light is being shined on this emotional guidance system so that we can find out what it is that we really want, what is it that we're moving towards? And then that was really cool because you know what came out? The Eight of Wands, the Empress, the Ten of Cups, and the Sun. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we're all just wanting this ultimate happiness that's based in authenticity and alignment. And that seems pretty straightforward, right? I mean, like that makes sense. And then the way to get there, the advice card on how to get there, was to let go of burdens that you might be perceiving things are yours to carry that are not yours to carry. So right now it's really important to take a look at what is it that you're taking responsibility for in your life that's not your responsibility, and why are you taking responsibility for it? Like, where in your life is it benefiting you? How is it benefiting you? And is it actually benefiting you, or are you just getting a dopamine hit because it's a repetitive thing that's now ingrained in your behavior? And from there, sorry, do you want to say something, Megan?
I was just going to add that those dopamine hits are really good. They're terrible, but oh, are they good? That's all I was going to say.
Example of that. I mean, TikTok, that's why TikTok exists.
Oh, yeah.
Dopamine hits. Yeah. Hugely.
But I have for the last month or so been calling it like getting dopamine. So instead of saying I want to, I don't know, eat this thing, I'll say that, oh, I need a little bit of dopamine and acknowledge that's what I'm doing for myself.
That's huge though, because that makes it cognitive and it takes it out of the unconscious loop. And, as an addictions counselor, that's like, once you take things out of the unconscious and into the conscious mind, even if it's still being done as a knee-jerk reaction, you can begin to really change the patterns of behavior with just bringing consciousness to it alone. And then I'm like, well, what is it that we need to do as a collective then to change? Like, what is it? Given that if we were to take a look at what's really going on inside, there's a couple other side stories here. One is someone's afraid to, okay, well, maybe so there might be specific people listening to this who resonate with these stories. Just like Megan got the one about a relationship, I'm seeing that someone might be afraid to walk away from something because they're afraid they're going to have a huge financial loss, and that there's something that someone's worked really hard for, like they are at the thing that they thought they wanted, they've attained it, and there's stability with that. And the universe is coming in to help you utilize manifestation to get out of this thing because it's no longer what you want. But because on surface level, it seems to be the creme de la creme, like I'm thinking of a good example would be someone who wants to have no belongings and travel the world, but somebody who owns their own company and is a millionaire and has like a mansion in Malibu. That's a really extreme example, but the energies are the same, meaning somebody's worked really hard. I'm seeing that somebody worked really hard to attain something. And now that they've gotten the thing, the only thing they can think about is, well, I kind of just want to throw all this away and create something new for myself. So with that energy, I'm like, okay, well, how do you do that? And then the answer was pretty clear, which is what Megan's saying. It's just death to the old cycles, you guys. Death to the old cycles. And you're going to be able to do that by listening to your intuition on a deep, deep level. And we talked about this in the manifestation episode, which is, there's different tools and exercises that you can implement to understand what is true for you. But when we're so enmeshed with other people in our lives, it's really hard to hear truth because all we can hear is what truth would benefit the other people in our lives. Like how we can adjust our truth to make other people more comfortable. And so many of us are so used to doing that this idea of bringing death to an old cycle brings up, well, but then what if I lose everybody that's connected to that timeline? And this is where things got pretty mystical and woo and awesome, because then it gets into 5D. So that's the 3D reading. The 3D reading for all of you is I get it. You worked really hard. You've been working really hard and you think that you've attained the thing that you want, but you don't feel comfortable and you feel like what's going on? Something's not right. That's because the thing that you want probably, or the thing that you've gained probably isn't actually what you want, which is exactly what Megan was saying. And what do you actually want? Well, then came through basically your soul, like who you are as a cosmic consciousness, who you are as a being, is trying so hard to tell you who you are as a being. And the templates that we have on Earth right now for the different types of aspects that people can be, they're not varied enough and wide enough for everybody to feel comfortable being who they are yet, because what's the first thing when we're kids? People ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then there's like acceptable answers and unacceptable answers. But that question in and of itself is limiting. So where we're at right now is literally finding what this card is calling the song of your soul, which is a very specific frequency and vibration that's unique to you. And nobody else has this. And what happens is, it's really beautiful, you guys. But what happens is once you start to embrace this as you, things will fall away. People will fall away. Your external circumstances will shift and change. And what came after that is timeline jump. Get ready for this. Timeline jump, star family, cosmic unity, the golden egg, and then I won't tell you the last one yet. So it's basically saying, once you harness this song of your soul, which is who you are as an energetic being, it allows you to jump to your highest timeline where you can receive the most fulfillment. From that place, you're able to experience cosmic unity in a way that you couldn't before because you're in tune and in resonance. That leads you to having this golden egg, this like nugget of awareness of the deeper you, which then leads to fifth dimensional access. So that's where we ended with my reading, is fifth dimensional access. So in other words, all of this that you're going through right now is so that you can access this 5D place, because this 5D place is not a place. It's a feeling space that's in the heart center, that is a deeper level of awareness that's cultivated from understanding that all of life experience is about learning what's wanted and unwanted so we can build a better sense of who we are. But if we're basing what's wanted and unwanted on the likes and dislikes of other people so that we can be liked, we're never going to hear our own soul song, which means we're never going to be able to experience cosmic unity, get that golden nugget, and essentially access that fifth dimensional awareness, which is connected heavily to telepathy and all of these higher dimensional abilities that we can't have access to if we were to just cut the shit, and quit pretending, essentially. Quit pretending, I guess, would be the biggest theme in my reading, because we are all connected to each other. We are all connected to family that is deeper than family we've ever understood before. And those are the people we're going to come into contact with once we start to really implement the truth of who we are. Live that way, I mean.
That's really beautiful. All of that was so beautiful, and I could feel a lot of it, and I got a lot of downloads throughout that, and they're all feelings, they're not words, so that's fun.
I had a feeling, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that, because I almost said that. I almost was like, Megan, you're going to have downloads, because this message, it's like the tarots or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, tarot, that's great. That gave me a very clear message. But then these cards that I was telling you guys are just magic. They're really telling me it's like you're missing the point, you guys. And when I say we, I'm including myself here.
Oh yeah.
The point. It's like there's this huge gift that's being offered. It's showing up here as a literal, Willy Wonka, like the golden egg. It's literally a golden egg, and underneath that golden egg is telepathy, cosmic unity, and fifth dimensional access and star family. So these are the things that we do not have access to when we don't make that timeline jump, because we're just going to stick with being comfortable.
And I understand the sentiment wholeheartedly behind wanting to stay comfortable. It's safe. It's obviously comfortable. Even if it's painful, it's pain that you know. And doing this work is really, really difficult sometimes. It's beautiful, but also sometimes it really sucks. I know it does. But I really feel like as we expand our connections, is kind of what I want to say. But as we make those connections on a soul level to these people who are on similar frequencies or similar journeys, or even opposing journeys that kind of spark inspiration in you, you're going to be moving forward and expanding in such a new way. And things are going to be coming online for you that you don't expect to come online for you. And I think a lot of it has to do with accepting ourselves, accepting who you are, accepting your own heart song, or what brings you joy, what fills your life with light, what knowing your own boundaries is a big one. Because if you're not constantly overexerted and you're not constantly repeating the same pattern, and you're allowing yourself to fall into your own natural flow and rhythm, it's a lot easier to access those really good parts of yourself and of what's to come. So we can do it. We've got this. It's exciting. It's also terrifying to say, hey, I worked really hard for this thing. That story specifically about someone, I could feel that energy. Someone had worked really, really hard to get to a new place to get to this thing that they thought they wanted. And then whenever they got there, they have to force themselves to keep going because they don't want to do it anymore. And I think that to that person or to those people, whoever it is, because that energy is strong, you worked on something amazing. You moved ahead. You should really be proud of yourself and what you've done. And maybe instead of being the person who does the thing, maybe you're the person that helps other people build the thing. Maybe you can help people get from point A to point B and look at maybe you're a creator.
And
It's okay.
and all of that there's actually a card here that kind of expresses that everything that you worked for, it's like that whole process that you went through, that's still part of your soul development, and that's still why you're getting able or why you're
they didn't do it for the thing. They did it to learn the process. They did it to find that strength within themselves. I got like big energy there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
But it's like, yeah, you accomplished the thing. The material gain that you got from whatever you accomplished is really just the cherry on top to the actual thing, which was the life, knowledge, and experience. It's probably going to let you help other people in the way that Megan just said. And one thing that Megan and I both got that I don't think we've talked about yet is the importance of play. Because there are two yous existing. There's the you that exists as the person in your day-to-day life that is functional and comfortable and knows what you need to do to, like, I don't know, get your coffee order right and find the right parking spot and like be okay with the people at work. And then there's the you that came here to be your soul expression. And this fifth dimensional awareness and consciousness, the place that it is it's the awareness within yourself that this is what you're here to do. And when you incorporate play, then you open up this other space of who you are that's much more, I can feel people understanding that. That's like authentic.
Yeah, it's more authentic. You're more open to experience. If you're thinking about being playful, you're so much more likely to say yes to an urge or a feeling or an intuition. If you're in that space and you hear and feel, I need to go paint right now, and it doesn't matter what I paint, I just need to get paint on paper and have fun with it, you're more open to doing that experience. And you're more open to opportunity, and you're more open to yourself. And you have a lot more fun.
And your soul would like you to know, this is weird, I've never gotten a message from a soul. Like, what does that mean? Your soul wants you to know, this is a channel message from your soul, I don't know whose soul. Your soul would like you to know that the work, quote unquote work, what us human beings talk about being the work, is to actually, I talk like a robot sometimes when I channel, guys, is actually to do the thing you're inspired to do when you're inspired to do it for no other reason than it feels right. So if that means painting, like finger painting on a piece of paper, that's the most important thing you could be doing with your time at that moment. Not putting your effort into some project, not planning something, not going out and, being an activist for something, even though that's great and amazing. It's like literally the way that we are learning how to integrate our soul into ourselves so that we can be a larger presence and be in our power here on earth. This is how we get there. It's the path there.
I want to add to that because when you said it, I got really excited. That kind of plays into muse. So a lot of times there are ideas that are sprinkled into the collective for someone to take action on, someone to make a painting, someone to express this emotion, someone to write the next play, someone to make whatever dumb meme. I don't know what it is. I'm not judging what the inspiration is, but it gets kind of sprinkled out into the collective, and we've all had that moment where we suddenly get this ping, do the thing, it's going to make you happy. And like, you have to create it, you have to make it, you have to do it. But if you don't act on it within like a certain time frame, it's gone. You don't care anymore. What made you really excited today is just gone, and it's because it's moved on to the next available vessel for that idea to channel through.
Whoa, that's such a trip to think about. So then you're basically just saying no thank you, universe.
Yeah.
But then you also miss out on that beautiful moment of flow and alignment that you could have had, and like getting to know yourself better and getting to interact with the universe, because you never saw it as the opportunity it was. You thought it was just some stupid idea or whatever.
Yeah, and I was actually just talking about this with someone on Friday, I think. But it's fun that it came back up. I think I was meant to talk about it. So essentially, those ideas that come through the collective, a lot of us tend to think, well, I don't deserve to do the thing. That's not my idea. I'm not taking credit for it. It just like came to me in a dream. So obviously it's the collective's. No, your unique perspective, your unique take on it, the way that you interpret it is going to be entirely different than how someone else does it. Because if they ping out this idea of expressing love, one person might get it and write a play. One person might get that and make a pencil drawing. I don't know. One person might express that love that they need to put out into the universe by just going and hugging someone that they love in their life. Those urges, that spark of intuition and inspiration was what I meant to say, but intuition and kind of goes with it. But that spark is, you are the only person that has your unique perception. So everything that you bring into the world, even if it's an idea that's been done 100 times, is uniquely your own. And it's okay to take ownership of it. And I'm telling myself that too, because I don't like to take ownership of things.
And spirit is like, I'm getting screamed at right now that I wish, well, maybe I can just like somehow put this out into the ethers so you guys can feel it by feeling it strongly myself. As you were talking, Megan, it makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. How do I explain this in a way that will really resonate? Who you are. Okay, imagine that we're all prisms, very literally, or crystals, whatever, that we are all like pieces of matter that refract light, absorb and refract light. Oh, this is so beautiful. Okay, I want you to imagine, well, this is actually truth, so I'm just going to say it like it is. Uh, each one of you, myself and Megan included, can I talk about this without crying? Each one of us has a specific tone and color and vibration that is unlike any other color or vibration or tone that exists in the universe. It is uniquely our own. And the reason we incarnated, I'm speaking from the only take it if it resonates, right? Just like everything else on here. The reason that you incarnated was so that you could express that here in physical reality, because that is what allows you to be a creator of your universe. And that right there, when you are with a group of people who understand that, then all of them together, okay, think of the painter. You know how there's primary colors and then you can combine those colors to make new colors? If there's any muckiness in any of those colors, then you're not going to be able to create that portrait with all the combinations. So all of what we're doing here is we're filtering out the things that are not in integrity, the things that are not in alignment, the things that are not of us, so that we can really radiate and reflect and exist in the vibration of the very special uniqueness that is us, so we can be in unity. And the only way we can be in unity is if we actually are ourselves. And that's why play is so important, because it connects us back to the innocence of what we were when we were a child, before we ever got programmed, before we were ever told the things that made us forget what that tone felt like in the first place. And of course, it's 444 right now.
I pulled a card while you were talking because I was told to. And the question that I had in mind when I pulled it was, what are we doing when we're embracing that authenticity and those moments of play? What are we doing when we allow ourselves to create whatever we're called to create? And I got holographic healing. We're literally healing pieces of ourselves and we're healing pieces of the collective.
Wow. That's so powerful. That's so powerful.
Trying not to cry. You made me almost cry.
It feels like it, right? Because it's like,
yeah.
you know how special you are. And like, I'm almost crying too. I've been almost crying since I was talking. I wish you all, like, there is nobody on this planet that could hold a candle to you, because you incarnated to be you, and you wouldn't be here if you were like anybody else. And this is what we're understanding. And it's going to be a process, and it is going to involve a lot of people who spent a lot of time building things that they now realize that they don't want. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay, because the whole process of getting that thing and then not wanting it is how you know, okay, that's not me. And then you become closer to the thing that you actually are. And it's all just filtering and like becoming more and more in alignment. And the fact that that leads to holographic healing makes so much sense, because it it is allowing that prism to not have any sort of abnormalities in it, so it can actually absorb and refract the light in a clear way. You become a clear channel for that light that you are.
I'm feeling a lot of sadness and a lot of judgment about people not knowing what they want to do, because we keep saying that that you're not doing what you want to do and that you're transitioning to do whatever the thing is that you're meant to do. And a lot of people are feeling lost and feeling like they don't have that purpose. They don't have that thing. There's nothing that they feel like their heart sings about. And that's super common, especially in this capitalistic world where we're all kind of numbed to everything. So it's hard to feel those moments of joy, because every time you feel happiness, it can feel like everything crumbles around you. But I want to say, first and foremost, you don't have to know exactly what it is that you want to do. You don't have to have a specific calling. You don't have to have something that makes your heart sing. What's important, especially in the start, is just to know, what do you want in this exact moment? What feels good to you in this exact moment? Maybe you're just here to be part of the collective. Maybe you're just here to have this specific, unique existence and this unique perspective that's all your own. It doesn't have to be like revolutionary or life changing, or you don't have to change the world in some impactful way that you're thinking of, because just by you being here, just by you being part of this collective, just by you being yourself and your wonderful, wonderful self, you are doing big things. You are following through on whatever it is your purpose is. There doesn't have to be a bigger thing. Stop limiting yourself. It's okay.
Yes, so much yes to all of that. I'm literally just going to repeat what you already said, but it's important because it's to like for people to really hear it. I pulled some cards while you were talking, and you guys, I always pull this star family card. It's insane, which is funny because the girl on the card actually looks like me. So it's like, I get it, spirit, I get it. But what we're not talking about doing a quote unquote thing, and this is the this is the programming. When you feel the way that Megan was just talking about, when you're feeling disappointed, like, well, I don't know what my thing is, I don't know what my heart's passion is, what the fuck do I do, I don't know what makes my soul sing. That's just you existing in the old system and the old paradigm and functioning off of old patterns and beliefs. What we're talking about is a feeling place that happens in the now moment when you are in a state of creative flow that comes from connecting to your heart. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything other than that. It can literally be like the other day I was at the river and I just started collecting rocks and I kind of put them all in a circle. That was me being in my heart space and creative flow. That was me operating at full function for the universe in that moment, and I was just moving rocks around. But when you pay attention to the things that makes your heart feel at home, that's how you start to learn what that is. And what I'm being told to tell you guys is, if you really don't know, if you're really lost, look to the people that feel like home. Look to the people in your environment, in your existence, and you don't even have to know them in person, but like gravitate towards the people that really feel like that you feel a resonance with. Because when you surround yourself with those people, I can feel it. Like your soul just sort of naturally starts pumping at this like higher octave where it's easier to access that heart space. And we're not talking about a thing or an accomplishment or anything tangible. What we're talking about is a space that you access within your heart where you know that you are living in alignment with yourself because it feels good. And that's it.
Exactly. So I really hope that you guys understand it a bit better now. I feel a little bit less of that panic feeling that I was feeling before. So I think that you do, but just be kind to yourself. It's okay. I feel like I say that a lot, but this is big work and I know it's heavy. And I know that we've been a little crass with maybe with telling you that you need to make a decision and you need to reevaluate and maybe move forward and not follow those patterns. But we're just saying it because, well, first and foremost, Spirit told us to, and also because we love you and we want you to grow in whatever way that feels in alignment with you.
Yep. And you guys, we're part of this collective with you. We are going through
Oh,
these
yeah.
well. If you think that we have it figured out, boy, are you mistaken. We just really enjoy learning from our experiences and sharing what we've learned so that you can also learn from our experiences. That's it. And you are doing a good job. We're doing a good job, but we're certainly not going to be doing we're not going to feel like we're running on all cylinders all the time. And if you take anything away from this episode, like, you are not alone. Shit is hard right now. We are getting triggered. The energy is heavy, but then it's light and then it's heavy again, and things are kind of all over the place. So if you're confused and overwhelmed, you're not alone. There is help and you have support around you, and you might be surprised at how much support you actually have once you start to be more and more yourself, because people will come out of the woodwork that you didn't expect.
That is really true. And then you're also, by being yourself authentically and by allowing yourself to embrace those dark spots and those bright spots and all of the things in your life that bring you joy and are part of your growth, you're a beacon for those other people who can look at you and say, "Oh, that person is raw and vulnerable. Maybe I should be too. That person took time for themselves today. Maybe I can too. You know, that person just had a really good ugly cry. Maybe I need a really good ugly cry too."
I love that. Yes.
I mean, that's all we're doing. When I say that, we're just being vulnerable. And if you're inspired by us at all, you could be doing that too. You could be inspiring people and you don't even know it.
Yeah, and we really are all in this together, even if you feel disconnected and alone. There's a reason we can tap into universal energy. When I'm doing these pick a card readings for you guys, or even when I'm on like the TikTok collective and pulling for that, like, this is it's very real, the energy. There is a collective energy that we are all in right now. And just know that you're part of this wave and we're all just experiencing it together, doing the best we can. And you are doing a really good job, just like Megan's saying. Like, you're doing so much better of a job than you give yourself credit for. And please do just relax and have fun with it, and go finger paint and like walk barefoot in the grass, and remember to have fun.
Yeah, so that's your homework for this week. Go do something for yourself that's fun, that embraces play, embraces some sort of joy for you. It could be skipping outside, painting with your fingers, singing out loud, uninhibitedly. I can't say that,
In your
but
car,
you know what I mean.
yeah, just scream in your car.
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
go out into the woods and scream if that brings you joy. But just embrace what you're called to do. Just one thing for yourself and see how it feels.
I like that. See how it feels. What does it feel like to do something you love to do?
Yeah,
Start there. Just start there, and you're doing more for the universe than you could even begin to imagine. You're expanding the universe when you do that.
yeah, you're putting that back into the collective for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Whew,
do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
the energy.
Yeah, that was a heavy one.
Take care of yourself, everybody, please. Like, take care of your physical bodies. Like, really just rest, relax. Everything's okay.
Drink some water. I know you haven't had enough water. Drink some water.
As I grab my water bottle.
All right. Well,
Where can they find you, Megan?
yeah. If you feel called to work with me in any way, whether it be through design, just talking, energy work, whatever you're called to work with me however you're called to work with me, I should say, I'm at megaruski.com. You can also, if you want to join the collective We have the Woo community where you can have a free listing to offer your own services without any artificial barriers of having to have a website or anything else. And where can they find you?
So what we're talking about today, guys, is sort of my wheelhouse. So one of my favorite things to do in counseling sessions is alignment work, manifestation work, and like soul song, like what's your purpose? So if this is a question that you're really struggling with and you would like to work with me on that to figure out, where your soul is the most resonant, then you can find me at lissarosecounseling.com. But obviously, you don't need anyone ever to tell you who you are to know what you are, first and foremost, right? But if you would like a guide of some sort, or if you would like a tarot reading, yeah, you can find me at lissarosecounseling.com. And then I'm also on Instagram at all things woo with underscores. So all underscore things underscore woo.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.